Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ESPN, and today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers as concerns Andre Drummond and his future with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I just got notifications about the circumstances between the Andre Drummond and his future with the Los Angeles Lakers. According to Bleacher Report, they put out there that the Lakers are hoping to regain Andre Drummond in the off season, and he's basically part of the future for the Los Angeles Lakers moving forward. Now, judging by what it stands right now, the Lakers are still in the playoffs. So by the time, if you guys are watching this possibly in the off season and the future about Andre Drummond and the Los Angeles Lakers, as of right now, the Lakers are still in the playoffs, and it's still a win or loss type of situation for the Los Angeles Lakers when it comes to the first round against the Phoenix Suns after the injury that occurred to Anthony Davis, which he suffered a groin injury, a grade 1, so potentially he can be back in a day or two when it comes to his particular injury. Hopefully pretty soon for the Los Angeles Lakers. But that's a side note. But when it comes to this, guys, this is a lot of things that the Lakers are going to do when it comes to the offseason. They got to improve their roster big time when it comes to bringing in shooters, possibly a point guard, a shooting guard. I mean, there's just a lot of things that you need to improve on. Personally, they need to get some players that are younger to build around, Anthony Davis in the future. But that's just my own personal opinion about that, and I believe most Laker fans would agree with me on this. And then there's some other priorities when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers as well. They have the Dennis Schroeder situation, which I have to say, judging by him not accepting the Lakers extension for that 4-year, $89 million in March, then the Lakers might somehow need to wait on that particular decision from Andre Drummond. But other than that, the Lakers have a lot on their stake when it comes to the offseason and how to improve the team much better if they want to have a better chance of a playoff run or maybe possibly a championship. That still remains to be seen about the situation for the Los Angeles Lakers in this particular playoffs that they're in right now. But, as it concerns right now, they have a lot of priorities. One of them is Andre Drummond. And, judging by how he's been playing so far for the Los Angeles Lakers, it's kind of an up and down situation for him. On the one hand, he does give us 10 rebounds a game, which we all expected that he would do. But at the same time, there's just a lot of positives and some negatives when it comes to his performance as a Los Angeles Laker. He's not a scorer that he is. I mean, obviously he's not. He gives us like 6 to 10 points a game. His highest point was he scored like 21 points for the Los Angeles Lakers. It was against the Brooklyn Nets at one time. But he does give us like 15, 12 points a game. But his rebounding, his protecting the rim was his best trait for the Los Angeles Lakers. We think back last season when we had Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee at one point, who were great rim protectors and have the rebounding capacity that they can do. And, it's just one of those type of situations that the Lakers need to focus on that particular center position than anything. Montrezl Harrell, he does have a player option at the end of this season, but it's more likely he wants to get paid because he's only going to be making like $9.7 million next season. So the idea of him coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers is kind of questionable, but it is another priority for the Los Angeles Lakers as well. So Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell is also a top priority alongside Andre Drummond. But, when you also think about it, also Marc Gasol is in that conversation as well still a part of the Los Angeles Lakers. And I believe he has a team option for the Los Angeles Lakers. And it looks like it's a guaranteed chance that he will come back to the Los Angeles Lakers. But, still remains to be seen about that. And, it's just a lot of priorities for the Lakers moving forward. But on the personally, when it comes to Andre Drummond, I hope he does come back, because he does bring that ability to bring that rim protection. And guys, he just signed with the Los Angeles Lakers back in March, so I believe March. Yeah, I believe it was in March. So it was at the the buyout market. So maybe he needs to get his bearings in more, be part of the Lakers organization in the off season, do some OTAs and stuff like that. Just workouts and training camp and stuff like that. So maybe he needs to get his bearings in for him to show his true abilities with the Los Angeles Lakers. But it still remains to be seen about that, and it still remains if he wants to remain with the Los Angeles Lakers. That is also another thing, because he's not getting paid to the extent that he wants to. So maybe he thinks he can get some more money somewhere else, which I think the Lakers have the ability to bring him back and giving him more money, but it's not in the extent that maybe he wants. But I don't think any team in the NBA would pay a guy a max contract or any sort of big money contract for him to play a certain team. But you never know. Other teams in the NBA do that when it comes to other teams trying to get a player to improve their team. So, and Andre Drummond, for a center of his size and his ability to protect the rim and grabbing rebounds left and right, he has a much better chance of being part of a team like possibly the New York Knicks or maybe the Boston Celtics or something like that. So there are just a lot of teams that may need his services. But as of right now, where it stands, it still remains to be seen. It's just news just came out about the Lakers' hopes of bringing back Andre Drummond in the offseason. So that's their priority as well, alongside Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell. But, it still remains to be seen. The Lakers do need to improve their team in a huge way, because they need shooters, they need shooting guards, they need a point guard, a center, all across the board. And it still remains to be seen about Markieff Morris, which I have to say, guys, Markieff Morris did say he wants to come back to the Los Angeles Lakers and remain with the Los Angeles Lakers alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis and just win multiple championships. So, he puts that out there, but, he does want to get paid. So you never know. The Lakers might look at things and somehow, maybe they want him back, or maybe they should look for someone else that could be a huge improvement off the bench for the second unit if somehow Anthony Davis goes out with an injury. And, Montrezl Harrell did prove that, but at times, it's kind of an up and down type of game for Markieff Morris, but, still remains to be seen about that. So, yeah, guys, that's all I really have to say when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers and their hopes of bringing back Andre Drummond. And, I think they should bring him back. But, if there's a center out there that has the same traits and the same capabilities of grabbing the rebounds and being a true center, like possibly a JaVale McGee, yeah, guys, JaVale McGee will be a free agent, and the Lakers have the ability to bring him back to the Los Angeles Lakers. So, his ability to, the Lakers to bring him back is also another option. I can't really think of any other centers at the top of my head. Maybe a Dwight Howard, but, that's another type of situation. I'm just thinking about some players that signed a one-year contract with certain teams. And the only players that I know is JaVale McGee, who signed that extension with the Los Angeles Lakers before he got traded. So, they exercised his contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. So, but he got traded to the Nuggets. So the Lakers do have the capabilities of bringing back JaVale McGee, and Dwight Howard is another different scenario. But maybe he'll possibly return back to the 76ers, but still remains to be seen about that. And so yeah, guys, that's all I really have to say. Give me your thoughts about the Lakers and their hopes of bringing back Andre Drummond. Do you think it's a good idea, or do you think it's a bad idea? I think most Laker fans would love to see Andre Drummond back with the Los Angeles Lakers, playing for the full year with the Los Angeles Lakers to see if he is capable of being with the Los Angeles Lakers. But still remains to be seen about that. And if you guys like the idea of the Lakers possibly pursuing JaVale McGee or maybe some other center that's probably out there that the Lakers could make a huge replacement for, possibly Andre Drummond or a Montrezl Harrell? Or do you guys think there's somebody else that's out there that's in the free agency market that could be a huge improvement for the Los Angeles Lakers? Please comment down below. I don't really have a lot of free agents on the top of my head that could be a huge help for the Lakers. Last time I checked the free agency market, there's Lonzo Ball, there is Chris Paul. There's a plethora of point guards and possible shooting guards, like maybe I'm thinking about his name. DeMar DeRozan, he is in the final year of his contract, so he will be a free agent. So there's that type of scenario as well. So there's just a lot of things that Lakers have top priorities that you need to improve on, and there's others that, like I mentioned, with Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, and Andre Drummond, and also Markieff Morris. So there's a lot of things that the Lakers need to improve on when it comes to their roster and what they need to look for in free agency. But as of right now, they are still in the playoffs. So if they somehow can get through the Phoenix Suns and achieve at the first round and go to the divisional, maybe some things will be changed, but still remains to be seen about that. So guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. I will be making a video tonight for the Lakers versus the Phoenix Suns in game 5. So hopefully the Lakers come out with a win without Anthony Davis. Hopefully LeBron steps up and the rest of the Lakers squad, from Kyle Kuzma and possibly Montrezl Harrell, and Andre Drummond, and also Markieff Morris. We need those players, and also Dennis Schroeder to step up, and maybe possibly KCP coming back. So we need those players potentially to improve. So I just really can't wait for that sort of matchup for the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. So guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like all of my social media sites: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll leave the links to my social media sites in the description of this video, so you guys can check out my social media sites. And of course, guys, subscribe to the channel and make sure to subscribe to the podcast, my ESPN podcast on Anchor. It is also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Radio Public. It is on all across platforms for podcast platforms. So if you guys just show me the support and love for my podcast, and also my channel ZSPN on YouTube and all across social media, ZSPN on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it will be much appreciated. I do appreciate the love and support you guys give me on my channel and all across social media, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.